Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Diego Pacheco versus Jack Cullen, March 11, 2023. This fight could be a problem for Mr. 6'4" Diego Pacheco. He is a specimen, man. I just don't think he's getting a lot of coverage. I don't know why, man. This guy has 17 wins, 14 of those wins by knockout. I mean, he's 6'4". You know, he's trained by David Benavidez Sr. Benavidez Sr, man, you know, the guys he's training, right? Doesn't matter what I personally feel about him. You got to give credit where credit's due. As far as the job Benavidez Sr does with fighters, especially for him to be a guy who's never ever put on a pair of gloves. But the story's pretty interesting with Benavidez Sr. How he ended up getting involved in boxing and becoming a great trainer. Took his oldest son to a boxing gym because his sons didn't really want to play soccer or baseball or basketball. Took him to a boxing gym. The kids like boxing. But the gym was so packed in crowd, he started helping the guys out with training. And then from there, he fell in love with it and started training his son. And then he became consumed with the sport of boxing and had his son, the oldest one, fighting all over the place. Every tournament all over the United States, fighting in Mexico. So by the time Benavidez Jr. was like 15, 16, 17 or something, the kid had like 100 and something fights already. And the father said, you know, he realized that wasn't necessary because he wasn't teaching more a professional style, more of an amateur style, having speed and throwing straight punches and just landing as many shots as you can. So he decided with David Benavidez, he was going to be different with him and teach him a professional style. And that's why David Benavidez, my understanding, he only had 5 amateur fights. But he was sparring pros and training like a pro from a little kid. So there's videos you see of David Benavidez, a little fat kid in the gym with Manny Pacquiao. So long story short, when you see these guys like Diego Pacheco, who's working underneath Jose Benavidez Sr., it's really no surprise at how he's able to develop these fighters because he learned on the job. He committed himself as a trainer to understand boxing. And sometimes I think it's good when you have somebody who doesn't have that actual hands-on experience because you can teach them what you want. But when someone kind of has some experience, you can meet some resistance like, nah, that's not how we do it, or nah, I know a better way. One of those, you know, I'm okay, you're not okay type people. But nonetheless, the fact that he's never boxed doesn't mean anything. He knows boxing. Look at what he's done with his sons. Look what he's done with Pacheco. But my thing is this. They're about to throw him in here with Jack Cullen. Now, this is not one of those tune-up fights. This is a step-up fight. You know, Jack Cullen, 21 wins, 3 losses. You know, Jack Cullen is no joke. You understand? He's not no Ricardo Luna, who Pacheco fought December 2022. And then in September, he fought Enrique Colazo, and he got TKOs in those fights. This guy that he's about to fight named Jack Cullen, let me tell y'all something. Jack Cullen is no joke. But I think what they're looking at is out of those 21 wins, 9 of those were by KO. And with his 3 losses, all 3 were by KO. Now, in his last fight, he won on points against Vladimir Belutsky. But what was getting my attention is he won a unanimous decision over Avni Yildirim. Now, that's a pretty big deal because Yildirim pushed Andre Durrell to the limit. And then Yildirim fought Canelo and lost to Canelo. But what I'm saying is, for a guy like Jack Cullen, who's fought top-notch competition, for him to now be getting in the ring with Diego Pacheco, I think Benavidez, he obviously feels that, you know, there's something special about Diego, something he feels that he sees during the training sessions, where he feels Diego can get in there with a step-up against a guy like Jack Cullen. Now, for those of you who are saying, man, why would they put him in a ring with someone like that? Diego seems to be doing so good. He's getting wins. He's building up his record. Well, I tell you what, you got Diego Pacheco signed to Matchroom. So he's getting an opportunity, to fight over here against these UK fighters. And Eddie Hearn is there behind his, trying to guide his career as well. So I think they see something here in the 6'3" Jack Cullen. But I'm going to tell you, when I look at Jack Cullen's record, right? When we look at the last when we look at the last like 6 fights, he had a loss by TKO, a win by TKO, a decision, split decision, win unanimous decision, win unanimous decision, then a loss by TKO. So I think they're counting on being able to Pacheco to hurt him, because Pacheco. Let me see something here. If they even have it on here. No, they don't have it on here. Well, Pacheco's reach is 79 inches. They don't have the reach for Jack Cullen. But a 79-inch reach that's a big deal. And that reach alone could create problems. But then again, Pacheco's 6'4", Cullen 6'3". I mean, I've never seen a 6'3" guy with a 60-inch reach. So I'm sure his reach is probably somewhere along the same lines of Pacheco's. But I think the big difference in this fight is going to come down to the power. You're talking about somebody with an 82% KO ratio versus somebody with a 36% KO ratio. So this is where you see where these promoters, the managers, the trainers, this is called strategic matchmaking. That's absolutely what it's called. They're getting him in there with a guy who's faced some opponents with names. The opponents that Cullen fought, they faced people with names. So this is a good step up for Diego Pacheco. But sometimes, I'm telling you, man, these matches can go, I'm not going to say it's a cherry pick because Jack Cullen can fight. But what I'm saying is it can go wrong. Stars don't line up for your fighter, and it can go wrong. Jack Cullen could be a spoiler. However, when I look at the fact that he, with that 36% KO ratio, I mean, he's out here Malinaging people. So, I mean, I'm just not sure how much of a threat he is. But Diego Pacheco, after this fight, he's going to have to step up. Because when you sit here and you think about Diego Pacheco, and it's like, okay, why are we even talking about Diego Pacheco, right? Diego Pacheco fights at, let me see something, I'll tell you right now. He fights at 168 pounds, super middleweight. And he is ranked number 9 in the WBO. Now, when you look across the IBF, WBC, and WBA, I don't see Diego Pacheco's name. So, let me see something before I lie to you. Yeah, he's not there. And he's not here. So what you see, what's happening with Diego Pacheco is a win like this could get him to finally break into the IBF, WBC, and WBA. But right now, he's ranked in the WBO. But he keeps getting these wins. It's just a matter of time before he breaks into this IBF, WBC, and WBA. But he's going to have to step up his competition. No doubt about that. He's going to have to step up his competition. When I look at him being in the WBO, the WBO likes their fighters to fight each other. You got Zach Parker. You got Idigov. You got, you know what? Berlanga. That could be a fight that they put together as Edgar Berlanga versus Diego Pacheco. Because Pacheco's on Matchroom, Berlanga's on Matchroom now. They're both ranked in the WBO, and that could be a fight where Eddie Hearn's like, look, hey, we believe in you, Berlanga. You should be able to get through this guy, Diego Pacheco. Clip him, and then go on to another fight. And then I don't know how many fights Berlanga has with Matchroom, but that could be the direction they go. Say, hey, let's go ahead and clip Pacheco. And after that, clip somebody else, and then whatever. 3, then by the 4th fight, get in there with Alvarez. But they're not just going to give him Alvarez. He's got to earn that. He's got to win. And that's the thing I don't think people realize. They just think, oh, he's signed with Matchroom and the deal is for him to get a shot at Canelo. No, he's got to win. He's got to win. They're not just going to take him where he loses 3 fights and then put the 4th fight, throw him into with Canelo. Canelo's not going to do that. Okay? So I'm sure the contract is worded a kind of way, and everything is contingent on Berlanga winning. But long story short, that could be a good move because Pacheco, he's born here in America, but Mexican descent. That could be a move. And when I look at these other names out here for like Pacheco to fight, Darrell's kind of fallen off a little bit. Darrell, I think he's retired now, but if he chooses to continue, that may be another good name for him. But there's some good fights to be made. Demetrius Andrade, but Andrade wants Canelo too. Everybody wants Canelo. Everybody wants to fight for a title. You know what I'm saying? And Demetrius Andrade, man, it's just a sad situation with him not getting an opportunity, man. But it is what it is. But that being said, man, keep your eye on this guy, Diego Pacheco. It's not hard to miss him. I mean, damn, he's standing 6'4", almost 6'5". Strong young man. But I'm curious to see what happens if he gets through Cullen, who they put him in the ring next. I don't think his team would want him to go right in there with Berlanga. But Benavidez Sr. said they're not afraid of no one, and they'll fight anyone. They get the right opportunity, they're going to fight. He said he feels that Pacheco is a guy, although he doesn't have the experience as a guy with 30 or 35 fights, the way he performs in the ring, he can beat those guys with that kind of experience. So they don't worry necessarily about how many fights a fighter has, it's how they perform in the gym. That being said, we could definitely see Diego Pacheco, if he gets through Cullen, fighting Edgar Berlanga. That would be a huge fight. Both of them are matchroom fighters, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and that could be a good build-up towards Edgar Berlanga and what's his name, Canelo Alvarez. But again, they're going to be strategic with how they move Berlanga too, because they don't want to mess up the money. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. In the breeze.